everyone. Seth Gordon-Lipkin here with DC Music Review, and we are backstage at 930 Club with Spafford, getting really psyched for their show, their return to 930 Club after their debut last year. So we are here in Washington, D.C., and last night was the State of the Union, kind of the talk of the town. I want to start off hearing a little bit from you guys about what is the state of Spafford right now.
It's good. Real good. It's rocking. Yeah.
Awesome.
We're having a blast out on the road, as we always do. Embracing the grind, loving every second of it. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys been out on tour 2-3 weeks now and about to wrap up in New York, right?
Yeah, this is week 4. Wrap up in New York, take a little breather, and pick it back up again in Colorado.
Cool. What have been some highlights of the tour so far? Obviously, 930 Club will be the pinnacle, but
clearly.
Florida was the Florida run was super fun. NOLA was great. Dallas was great. I mean, they've all been great. I don't want to leave anybody left out. Of course, our 2 shows at Variety Playhouse in Atlanta was just amazing. And even Monday night in Greensboro was stacked. It was awesome. They showed up.
Awesome. So you guys debuted here last year, your first time playing 930 Club, not the first time in DC, but what were your impressions of this venue and what are you hoping to get from it tonight?
It's a great venue. It's like a legendary club. You know what I mean? Like everybody plays here, so it's such an honor and a privilege to play here and all that stuff. Last year was a great time. We had a blast here, and we're expecting more of the same tonight.
Awesome.
DC always shows up. They always have a good time, so it's always fun to play for DC crowds.
You get any of the cupcakes last time?
We did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did they live up to the hype?
Absolutely.
Good.
What are these cupcakes? What are these cupcakes?
I guess you'll have to find out in a couple hours. Yeah, they say 930 on them.
Wow.
Yeah. I often wear my 930 Club shirt outside of DC all the time, and people are like, what's going on in 930? It's like the best kept secret. It's cupcake time. So last year you guys debuted Dirt Bath here. It was like a 22-minute sprawling composition. I just want to hear a little bit about the songwriting process that went into that and how it's been living over the last year.
I mean, there was a lot that went into that. It was a bunch of movements. I had some things that I put together even last year, and then some things that I pulled from when I was like 18 or 19 years old. That I've always had these sections and never really knew where they would fit, and then sometimes they magically just went together with the rest of it. So it was just kind of a crazy composition of sorts, and it seemed to really work out. And since then, we've been stretching it out in different sections and stuff like that, and just having a lot of fun with it, just letting it breathe and go wherever it wants to go.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it's like, it sounds pretty amazing when something like that can really come together and just kind of click if it's drawn from all these different phases of your life. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Cool. So Nick, this is your first time in 930 Club. You've been back 2 tours now, back with the band?
3 Well, this will be the 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's it been getting reintegrated with Spafford, and what's it been like for the rest of you guys kind of bringing this voice back into the band?
Man, it's just been great. It's like returning home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And speaking of Dirt Bath, like that was one of the songs that I had the privilege of learning since I've came back, and it's just been a beautiful experience learning how to play that song and integrating a lot of what Cam did when the 2 years that I was gone, and kind of taking from some of that stuff and inserting, my own style and whatnot, and it's just been a beautiful experience, and it's great to be here in Washington D.C. at the 930 Club.
Awesome.
Can't wait to rock this house.
That's great, man. I remember last year Brian and I talked about kind of improvising and how you sort of trained on your ability to jam as a band, and you mentioned turning out the lights, something as like doing something simple like that to help you all listen to each other. Is there anything you've done over the last couple of tours with Nick back that has allowed you to kind of reinvigorate your jamming together as a 4-piece?
I think we're still getting used to each other, getting up on stage right now, and spending so much time on the road. We're just doing things like kind of live and in the moment. I mean, we did just have our metronome out, and we were working on some exercises of that right before you guys came in. So there's always exercises and always things that we're doing to work on the improv, to trust each other and just let it go where it wants to go.
And for people who don't know, you guys have a couple like studio releases of all improv, Chapel Jam and Abaculus. So I want to know a little bit about kind of what the motivation is to put stuff like that out there, you know, almost as an official release, but pure improv.
When the magic is there, then it's there. The recording is always running, so we're always like jamming. Like we spend a lot of time in our rehearsal studio when we're not on the road, or when we're on the road, we spend a lot of time in here jamming. And anywhere we get the recorder set up, we do. And sometimes it's just there's magic in the air, and if it's good enough and we want to put it out there, then we just release it.
I mean, we were listening to Chapel Jam as a group for years. I mean, it was one of my favorite jams that we ever did, but nobody ever heard of it. And we have quite a few of those still saved up. So
what was the impetus to just kind of put it out there?
there was a story behind it, you know, getting stuck in where was it? Kinesis?
Kinesis, yeah.
How do you say it? It's really Kinesis?
Yeah, it's Kinesis.
Okay.
I've heard mixed reviews of that it could be Canisius.
Canisius, yeah. You know, but there was
Depends on who you ask.
a great story, and we dug up some old footage from that time. So we were like, what's better than to throw all this footage together? And it's on our YouTube. You can check it out. It's a full video that shows where we were and what we were going through, you know, with the jam playing in the background.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
And there's a certain like mentality of like that the jams that we do, the improv that we do is like it's not all ours. You know what I mean? It really comes from like a greater power, you know, so it's like our responsibility to kind of let that stuff go and give it to people so they can listen to it.
And certainly when you're performing, I mean, the audience is a big part of that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there have been a couple instances where you've gone out on stage and your show has been either one set was just a jam or you played one song that you extended 40, 45 minutes. Is that stuff that you have planned, or you're up there and just kind of spontaneously go with it and let the crowd sort of dictate whether or not you keep it going like that?
I think that there's multiple different, you know, ways that we approach it. There have been times where, you know, an hour before the show, we still hadn't, written out a set list, and it was like, wow, maybe we could just jam, you know. But then there's also been times where we've had, you know, 9 songs written out in the set list for the first set and played one of them, you know. So I mean, it really is as spontaneous as, you know, the next note of improv. It's, you know, so I mean, like, as far as planning is, you know, improv is really tough to plan for, you know, but there's a number of different ways that we approach, you know, jams. So.
Yeah. So how are you crafting set lists? If, you know, you can kind of abandon it when the moment strikes, what's going into the process of putting them together on paper?
The algorithm. Bloyd. Yeah, you got to ask Bloyd about that.
Bloyd?
Yeah.
Who's Bloyd?
If you look hard enough, you'll find it.
Yeah, you'll find it. Okay. Got to know where to look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's somewhat of a system that we have. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
We
Yeah.
have lunch meetings and review a lot of different things and strategize and move things around. And it all just falls into place.
Any stories from this tour, from the road, that are, you know, PG and appropriate for Facebook,
Right.
but that maybe speak to your friendship and brotherhood off stage?
And when we have days off, we just kind of sleep.
Yeah.
Do stuff though, and eat meals together.
Yeah,
It's usually centered around food or some sort of childish activity.
Hmm.
We enjoy laser tag, and video games.
Cool.
We did eat cheeseburgers and milkshakes yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go for that?
Zin Burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Zen?
nice.
Zin.
Zin.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Zin Burger.
Did you have a favorite meal in New Orleans? That seems like your your best food place on this tour, right?
Unfortunately, we didn't get really an opportunity to get in,
We did
in the
late
thick of
night.
it. Yeah, I mean, but it's like late
I
night.
wouldn't say it was good.
No, it
Yeah.
really wasn't.
It was a fun experience.
But we did walk
It was
down.
Walking down.
Yeah.
Bourbon, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Andrew and I went out earlier in the day and found some delicious beignets.
Oh,
yeah.
We were
Nice.
gonna go to Cafe Du Mans, but the line was like 2 blocks, and so
Yeah.
we just went to this other place. It's got like 5 bags of beignets.
Brought them back for everybody.
Yeah.
They're
You can't
delicious.
really mess up fried dough and powdered sugar.
You'd be surprised, though.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I mean,
So-
I could probably mess up fried
Right.
dough and powdered sugar.
Beignets.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why everybody wants to go to Cafe Du Mans.
Yeah.
Because they really are that good. But I love New Orleans food. Unfortunately, I seem to be like allergic to the city of New Orleans. Like,
Shellfish?
Just like my allergies always kick
Oh.
up when I'm there. So, but the food there is amazing.
Yeah.
Gumbo.
Barbecue in Greensboro is pretty
Too
good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Thanks, Wes.
Some
Yeah.
friends bring us some barbecue. It was real good.
That vinegar in North Carolina
Right.
hits the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, we're really excited for this show at 9:30 Club tonight. I think you guys are going to bring it. You always do when you come to DC. If you had to kind of sign off with one message to people here in DC that are coming to the show tonight or are trying to decide whether to come to the show tonight, what would it be?
Come to the show.
get some
Yeah, I
elec-
kind of handed that to you there.
Yeah.
Come get some electro funk therapy.
Yeah. Awesome.
See you tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you tonight. Thanks to Spafford for this quick interview and hope you enjoy it. We'll see you at the show at 9:30 Club.
Bye.